It's the urban phenom, dropping lyrical bombs. Niggas got heart, but no chin. Amir Khan, always ready for war. I don't have to turn it on. I'm the best at what I do, and that's just being me. The devil's a lie.
Alright, so I'm back at it with the Swag Science predictions. We got a pretty decent big fight this weekend with Saul Canelo Alvarez versus Erislandy Lara. And it's basically to find out who's the second best junior middleweight in the world. Because, you know, we all know Floyd has the distinction of being number one. Now, I'm going to be honest on some real shit. When you really look at both of these fighters, this is a real close fight. I think it's 50-50, man. And I still don't even know who I'm picking in this fight. So I'm going to just really try to contrast their styles, looking, you know, try to break shit down and just really make up my mind along with y'all when y'all watching this video. We got two boxer punchers, Canelo. We're going to take a look at him first. Now, if you look at Canelo, he's improved. Now, here's this fight with Shane Mosley. Canelo, he really just sits in one spot, puts all his weight on his punches, and throws hard combinations. Sometimes they're short, sometimes they're long. He digs into the body. And he has the same type of similar defense as Lara. You see he lands a good left jab where he just covers up. You see him going to the body again. Now, he really throws some real crisp, sharp combinations. And he's just all over Mosley right here, but he gets lazy sometimes, and this is where he starts fucking up, really. When he tries to take breaks. You see right here, Mosley just smothering him. Lands a good right hand on the inside. That's some Andre Ward type of shit right there. And that's what you gotta really do. Make Canelo pay when he's trying to take those damn breaks. Now, if you just stand in front of him and don't do shit, you get tagged like Mosley is right now, and similar to Angulo. Now, this is another moment where Canelo, you know, he's sitting down landing some good punches. He tries to sneak in a little left hook jab when he's moving, but normally he doesn't really move in box, although he is capable of boxing. Now, here he's trying to take another break, and Mosley just teeing off on him. There's some feather duster type punches, but he lands one at the end that's pretty decent. And, you know, you see what Canelo's capable of. But Lara, he's in the same type of mold. You know, boxer, puncher, he covers up for defense. They both move their head. Now, Lara is more fleet-footed. He could move and punch. That's one of the major differences. Now, I think he's a little more predictable with his punch selection than Canelo is. He likes to lead with that heavy left of his. Here he is against Molina. Now, he does some good work when he's pressing the fight. I think he could do better when he's leading with his jab, because he sets up his punches a lot better. Now, you see he's covering up. Now, he's not necessarily tired. He has decent stamina. I think Lara's stamina is much better than Canelo's. Now, you see a good little uppercut on the inside. But he's lacking that killer instinct. And sometimes he just kind of just fucks around and doesn't really do anything. Like, you see when he's against the ropes, he just covers up and he lets guys tee off on him. So it kind of cancels each other out just from seeing those little bits and pieces. You see that? And it's not only those fights, they've done it in other fights. Canelo, his stamina is garbage. He kind of gasses out and he kind of just half-asses it sometimes. He'll land some good power shots, he'll throw some combinations, then he takes a break, and that's how he really gets through a fight. Lara, on the other hand, he's more steady, but then sometimes he just has this whole vibe where he's on cruise control. I wish he would fight with more of a killer instinct and kind of take charge and know when the momentum swings his way and pick it up. He does that every now and then, but it's a real bad flaw. It's like Canelo's bad stamina and Lara's lack of killer instinct and cruise control type of boxing, they almost cancel each other out. So you gotta really look at what they do best and judge them on that type of perspective. So when I look at that, Lara is definitely the better boxer. I don't think by much, but he's better at moving around. His punch selection, I feel, is a little more predictable. He paused the jab, and you know he's gonna shoot an uppercut. I wish he would throw more hooks. He has a good right hook. He needs to mix in that more with his combinations. And if you saw in those clips again, Canelo's there to be hit when you trade with him. He's not one of those type of sharpshooter dudes like where he can land something bigger than you in an exchange, kind of like Danny Garcia and Manny Pacquiao do. Canelo's kind of different. He sees the punches coming, he lets you get off. He tries to block, pick your shots off, defend. Then he goes in on the attack. And Lara kind of does the same thing. But I'm telling y'all, you know, these guys have the same type of tendencies and flaws. You know, they real similar. You know, they not exactly, but they similar. You know, certain shit cancels out, but it's a real hard fight for me to pick. Cause one thing, you know, I picked Trout to beat Canelo, and you know, y'all could look at that prediction and remember what I said, even the recap. And I felt Trout edged it. I think a draw was probably the best thing. It wasn't no robbery, it was a close fight. You know, Canelo's heavy punching, but Trout outworked him in a lot of spots, and you know, I thought he won that by a round. You know, by a point. You know, Canelo had the as we would like to say, let me see, the industry on his side. You know, the politics has him. You know, he's kind of backed by that foundation, if you get what I'm saying. So Canelo really just has to do what he normally does. Box, try not to take too many hard punches, and you know, throw his showy, flashy combinations, move to the side. Well, whereas Lara has to really pick up the pace, jab, walk him down, and really show that he's the better boxer. Because he might not get the decision. That's the thing that worries me with picking Lara to win this fight. It's just you don't know if Lara's going to seize the moment or he's just going to be perfectly fine with being a little better than Lara. Because I'm not one of these guys that really, you know, hype up Lara like that as far as boxing ability. He's a good boxer, but you know, I just feel he doesn't fight to his full potential. Like whenever you see him in with a guy that's kind of decent, he almost always looks like he's on their level or just a little bit better. But beforehand, you kind of look at it like, damn, Lara's definitely more skilled than this guy. But the fight doesn't play out like that. Even the fight, you can check my catalog, the Marioshin fight. My bad if I'm pronouncing that name wrong, but that fight he had where it was a draw, I picked Lara to win that, and I felt he should have won. But he didn't really set himself too far apart as being the better boxer in that fight. You know what I mean? And I know people gonna look at it like, well, Lara, he beat up Angulo a lot better than Canelo. I'm sorry, people gonna look at it like Canelo beat up Angulo a lot better than Lara did. But you gotta understand, Canelo got the worst Angulo you could possibly fight. Dude was just, you know, that beating he took from Lara, and he wasn't necessarily beaten because it was a competitive fight, but he took some heavy shots in that fight. If you remember the fight he had with Silva, you know, he took a hell of a shot, you know, a bunch of hard punches in that fight, the Kirkland beat down, you know, all those things catch up to a fighter. And Canelo, he just had a heavy bag in front of him. Lara still had an Angulo that was serviceable and wanting it. Now, on the same hand, people gonna say, oh, you know, Canelo struggled with Trout and Lara didn't. Well, this is the thing. Trout was Canelo's step-up fight. You know what I mean? So he wasn't a step-up fight for Lara. Lara's already been in there with guys like Paul Williams, Molina, you know what I mean? That's like comparing Berto's victory over Hernandez to Lara. I mean, Berto was already a champion and fought some decent dudes, you know, and he was fighting them at welterweight. So you can't compare it and be like, okay, Berto knocked dude out in the first round. How come Lara didn't? It don't work like that, you know. But that's why I really can't look at the Trout and the Angulo performances for either guy trying to get a leg up on the other. I'm just basing it off their individual performances and how they normally fight. And right now, wow, we've had some upsets this year, and I've been getting some wrong, getting some right. But I'm just leaning toward Lara for some reason. I think that he's gonna just box a little more and put more punches together. And I think he has the slight edge in hand speed. And one thing too, Lara's been cracked by hard punchers. This is the first time Canelo's really been in there with a guy in his prime who's a legit 150 pounder that could punch. Yeah, Trout was a legit dude, but he can't really punch like that. I mean, even then he was still backing up Canelo, and Canelo wasn't walking through him. But it's a different thing when you have a guy in there who could really fucking crack. I think that's gonna be the difference in this fight. As far as my prediction, oh man, goddamn, this fight could go either way. I could see this fight going either way. I could see Canelo out hustling Lara in spots, landing the cleaner punches, the sober, judge-friendly punches, or I could see Lara boxing with a more steady pace and just hurting Canelo and just kind of overall outworking him, but this time really showing more of a physical damage than Trout did in his fight. You get what I'm saying? So with that said, damn, this one's hard, but fuck it. I'ma just go ahead and pick Lara to win a close, maybe controversial decision, like a split majority decision, one of those type of decisions. I think he has a possibility of winning clearly though, but who knows? This is boxing. So that's it for the swag science. One more thing, make sure y'all be checking out my blog hoodallstars.com. Every Friday, every Saturday when there's a fight, I'll put up my written predictions that Friday or Saturday morning. So, I don't always have the time to make video predictions. So, I'm always making predictions, just writing them out. So, y'all check those out. 1.